Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Stat of the Week has been made possible by Toyota.
Tom Coughlin has some time to get the Giants straightened out after the big win over Chicago, but he has to do well against Houston this week. If not, guess who's in the offing? Bill Cowher. And San Francisco's starting safety Michael Lewis says he wants a trade. He wants out. He'd look awful good in a Washington Redskins uniform. Bill Parcells doesn't sound like a man who's ready to retire soon. Yes, he did hand the general manager's reins over to Jeff Ireland, but when asked if he planned to retire, his comment was, "I'm not the kind of guy that sits around the fireplace." And the Jaguars added their third quarterback in 8 days, claiming Trent Edwards off waivers. My, how well David Garrard played on Sunday. And the best part about Carlos Sobrano is his unpredictability. After he got his 8th straight win to finish out the season, his comment was, Adam Dunn would look pretty good in a Cubs uniform. Say it ain't so, Nats. Al Thornton had a brief encounter with a woman who hit him with her car last Thursday evening. He's doing fine. And Tony, that's pretty much it on the plus.
You know, Mike, I know the Wizards will be happy to see Josh Howard back. That guy was a very good player in Dallas. I think he'll help these young players quite a bit. Let's look what's up next with Green Bay. And what we have to talk about first is Clay Matthews. This young man has a motor. He's a pass rush extraordinaire, and he's a very good player, rookie Pro Bowler.
And he comes from a legacy.
Yes, he does.
He comes from a strong pedigree now.
Exactly. His father played 19 years. His uncle played 22 years.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame, and this guy, he never stops.
He's a left outside linebacker. Does that mean he's going to line up against Jamal Brown, or do they move him around, Tony?
They move him around quite a bit. He picks the spots.
Okay.
Driver, big wide receiver, can run. Aaron Rodgers will get him the ball. Hall versus Driver.
I like D'Angelo. I like the guy. I mean, D'Angelo has a certain swagger to him that you got to love how he plays.
He's stepping up. He really is.
Yeah. And then, you know, Driver is a lot bigger than Deshaun Jackson the previous week. So that's the guy that they're going to have to pretty much shut down, but he's a playmaker.
Redskins must stop the run. Brandon Jackson is a pretty good back. Can they shut this man down?
I still think they give up too much yardage on the run, Tony, still, because they're already giving them 4 to 5 yards on the run. So to me, still that 3-4 defense does not work well against the run.
I think each week they're learning their defense better.
That's
I think it's like what Ken Harvey has said last week. You know, they're adjusting to something they haven't done before. And I think, but each week they're getting better at adjusting to it.
Green Bay's offense is ranked 6th. Their defense is ranked 2nd. This is going to be a big task.
Well, they were picked as one of the top 4 teams in the NFL, but they struggled last week. They were lucky to get out of that game by 2 points.
But Detroit is not sorry.
Yeah.
No, Detroit, and right, Mike, you need to look at the game.
Right.
Detroit has lost their game 1 or 2 points. They were cheated out of one of them. This is a very good team.
But also when you win games that way, when you're playing bad and you still win, that means you're a really good team because you can play bad and still win games.
But Green Bay, sometimes you see them as a good offense and a bad defense, and sometimes the offense is bad and the defense is good. They are ranked pretty high, but they can lose games, and Chicago proved that a couple of weeks ago.
And you know what's interesting about this? There was an article in the Post about this. This is a 3-4 defense the Redskins are going to play. Last year was their first year under the 3-4. This is their second year. And they made the playoffs with the 3-4 last year in their first year.
You know, defense seemed to be a big part of the game this year. I always felt it's a big part, bigger than offense anytime. You can tell Gary Clark that the next time you see him. But let's take a look at the sports bar. And you said 3-4. 3-4, you don't know anything about that. When you look at the sports bar challenge this week, New England having a problem with defense, Miami playing very good defense. This is a big game. A few weeks ago, we'd have thought New England could walk away with this, but they're having a problem. How did the sports bar individuals pick?
Well, at the New England at Miami, the Crystal City restaurant picks Miami at home. Crystal City Sports Bar, they're picking New England. They're 2-2. Both those teams are 2-2. Martini's Restaurant and Lounge, they're picking New England. They're 2-2. Jordan's 8. He just has a knack, doesn't he? He's picking Miami. They're 3-1. Old Dominion Brew House, they're picking New England. They're 3-1. Greavy's picking Miami. They're 2-2. And Hard Times Cafe of Fairfax, they're picking New England at 2-2. This has been a very up and down season. I don't think anybody knows anything.
Exactly.
Now, you do not know what up and down means to Mike Baker goes 4-1 in the picks. Put the women and children in bed because this is going to be ugly. Anytime he leaves, we'll be back to talk about that.
Mike leading?